Very good evening to everybody watching. Thank you for joining us tonight on the evening review. My name is Ndemuweda. Tonight on the platform we are joined by Ndemuweda Nghixulifwa. He was one of the delegates at the recently held General Assembly of the National Youth Council in Swakopmund, which had to be called off due to deep and almost physical disagreements there. Mr. Ndemuweda is here to reflect on those events. Thank you very much, brother, for making time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Swakopmund, you maybe just for clarity first, you went there as a delegate on whose ticket? I suppose you have to be an affiliate of some sort for you to make it there. How does it work?
Yes. So just to give some clarity on that one, I'm the chairperson of Highlands Youth Organization.
Yeah.
It's an affiliate organization under the National Youth Council.
Okay.
Yes. So that is under which the ticket, or however you want to call it, the ticket that I went under.
Okay.
Yes.
Who were you supporting between the two candidates?
I thought we were going to start before we get to the main stuff. I thought we were going to start
we'll get there
somewhere before. But just to give some clarity and some context, myself, I was a board candidate for the National Youth Council at the recently held third General Assembly elections in Swakopmund. So basically, what has transpired in Swakopmund is an event that I think the two candidates that you are referring to took center stage, and which I feel was a bit unfortunate, because those two candidates were only for one position, which was for the executive chairperson. But there were 5 positions for the board positions, which myself, together with 13 other candidates, form part of. So basically, that is where I think we need to give the general public and also the youth at large some context into the events that unfolded. Yes.
There's a very famous video of you circulating, seated on the floor. What was happening in that moment? What actually transpired?
Okay, now, like I was saying, or like I was trying to say, is that I think we need to do the event some justice by giving some context, you see. So what has transpired is that I think the National Youth Council is an umbrella body that is formed by an Act of Parliament of 2009. In fact, NYC National Youth Council was formed in 1994, but it used to operate under what we call a constitution, and the likes of the Julia Kaventunas and the Pwamba Shifetas were leaders of National Youth Council at the time, before it became an Act of Parliament. Now, by its nature, National Youth Council is having an act, like I'm saying, and is guided by the certain policies, the certain clauses within the act. Now, we have to understand that by its very nature, it has now also been transformed into a non-commercial state-owned entity, and by its nature, it's an elective body, meaning that it forms under the Ministry of Education, MISEC, but it's unique in the sense that the board who run the day-to-day activities of the council, they are not appointed, but they're elected. Now, like I'm saying, by virtue of its act, it's having a hierarchy of the various powers that make up the National Youth Council. Now, it starts at the top, which is the General Assembly, and then it goes down into the Representative Council, and then it's the board, then the management. Now, the General Assembly meets by the Act, it meets every 4 years, and the Representative Council meets every year, once a year. And then the board now, they are the ones who run the day-to-day activities. Now, its composition, it's formed of 53 affiliates and 14 regional youth forums that make up the composition of the National Youth Council as an umbrella body. Now, the Representative Council, which meets once a year and is the highest decision-making body in the absence of the General Assembly. It meets every year, so by virtue of that, the composition is the heads of affiliates, which are 53, the chairpersons of the youth forums, which are 14, and the specific board that is there at the time that forms part of now the composition of the Representative Council, called the RC. Now, if we go to the General Assembly, what you do is that you just expound those 53 affiliates and 14 youth forums by virtue of nominating delegates. So each affiliate and each youth forum, they nominate four delegates that now forms part of the composition of the General Assembly.
Yeah.
Now, coming back to the General Assembly that has just transpired, like I'm saying, the General Assembly, the Act also gives some specific powers to the General Assembly only in session, meaning that outside the process of a session of a General Assembly, the delegates to the General Assembly do not have power. So you only have power when you are in session. So now, I think that is very much important to note, and I'll tell you why. Because, for example, I can make an example to your platform here. You are maybe, or you are the managing editor, for example. Now, your powers are there on a day-to-day basis, for example. But the youth now, for example, they only have power every 4 years. So, what are the youth doing in that time?
In between.
In between. They're not having any power. So only when you come to session, that's when you have power. Now, what has transpired at the recently concluded or postponed the General Assembly is there were some issues that we as candidates and delegates raised with the preparatory committee before we even commenced the General Assembly. Now, some of those issues were primarily issues of list of delegates.
Yeah.
Mind you, we were only given the full list of delegates a day before traveling. And for people who are candidates like myself, this can be very hard to even campaign. So on the Friday, it was the opening session. There was a delegate who raised a concern on the floor to say that, no, I've nominated some delegates. I'm the chairperson of my affiliate. I've nominated delegates, 3 of them, but they are not on the final list of delegates. So that was a concern because people are just making this issue about the 2 candidates vying for the EC position. But myself, I'm a board. I was a board candidate, and in politics, even 1 vote is a lot of votes.
Yes.
Yeah. I will just quickly make reference to the 2020 General Assembly, the 2020 General Assembly elections, where the current Deputy Minister, Honorable Ansel Marungu, and a gentleman called Keke Marenga, they were also vying for the board positions. And they got a tie, 79-79 each. One of them only needed 1 vote to become a board member. So in politics, 1 vote is a lot. So the concern was raised on the floor on the Friday that we are having an issue with our list of delegates, and there's not been resolved. So I think we also have to highlight the biasness of the chairperson on the day. She was not fair, I think, because some of these matters are not matters of dividing the House to say no, there's no majority. Let us proceed with the matter. Let us deal with some of these matters on a fundamental principle, because some of our rights can also be violated in the process. Yeah, so some of those are the concerns that we were raising, and the specific delegate now also came on the Saturday and highlighted the same issue to say that no, this concern has not been addressed. So I think that is where now it moved to the stage where delegates became a bit agitated because their concerns were not being met, me included, and some of those were the issues where there was no proper redress in terms of addressing those delegates, those concerns of the list of delegates. Now there are also other concerns that maybe there might not be enough time for me to go into, but that from a fundamental standpoint, one vote is a lot of votes.
I understand.
So yeah.
Okay. Now we will go for a very short break and return with Ndemuweda Nghixulifwa. We are still talking to Ndemuweda Nghixulifwa here on the evening review. So in summary, what you're saying is that there were procedural concerns, and when some of you guys raised those points, there was no redress essentially, and people somehow got frustrated that there was no one in the leadership lending an ear to the issues that were raised.
Yes.
Yeah. So at what point, you were arrested, you were detained, were you not?
No, I was not detained.
You were not detained?
No.
I read that somewhere.
I did not even spend 1 second in jail.
Okay. At what point did the police arrive at the scene? What prompted their arrival there?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what prompted the arrival of the police on the scene, but
so 9 people were arrested. That's a lot of people. 9 people.
They were arrested.
Yes, even if you call it now detained, maybe for some time, but they were arrests. No, not arrested. Injured.
Yeah,
sorry.
Injuries.
Yes.
Yeah, no. From my recollection, no one was arrested. I don't think any delegate who participated was arrested.
Yeah, I must correct myself.
Yeah,
it was they were injured.
Yeah, injured. Yeah, perhaps. So when you see, the challenge also came in, like I'm saying, that this issue was summarized into just the election of the 2 candidates. Yeah. So the House degenerated into that point to say that let us go for elections for the position of executive chairperson at the expense of the board. So I think there was towards the end, like I'm saying, from my point of view, and I think various other delegates, the chairperson was a bit biased. I think she favored the issue of there being a majority on one side, but these are fundamental issues. So as a chairperson, you need to be, I think, impartial, a bit fair, and So what happened is that towards the end, there were some officials that were brought into the house, termed as individuals from the ECN, And then I think they also made a fundamental error, or a small error, where the board then dissolved themselves, I think prematurely, because before you dissolve the board, you need to inform the House who are the returning officers, and you must introduce them by name, by title, by qualification, and by the role that they're going to play. And you can even go as far as even getting the House to adopt the returning officer, and then the returning officer dissolves the board. So that is basically the procedures when you go into elections. But that was omitted, I think prematurely, because like I'm saying, I think the board was, or the chairperson was a bit maybe premature, or a bit maybe impartial. So when some of us as candidates now saw the point where our rights could be violated, that is where now we took it upon ourselves to instruct the ECN individuals that, okay, this is still our session, and we as delegates are still in charge of the session in terms of the powers that the Act prescribes onto NYC. So we instructed them to leave, which they did not leave at that time, and then so I think with the whole atmosphere, the youth were also a bit agitated, and I think the video clips that have been circulating, general public can see that there was a bit of some agitation, and the atmosphere was a bit tense. So at that point,
it was extremely tense. If 9 people got injured, that's a lot of people. But tell me, whether you spoke about impartiality not being there, but going into that General Assembly, we already had press conferences being held in Windhoek by various political parties, youth leagues and whatnot. The SWAPO Youth League endorsed one candidate, and stuff like that. Of course, I don't think there's anything particularly illegal about that, but the bias, if you like, already started from there. And therefore, when people went there already with, or maybe the obligation, of course, to be impartial, of course, lies more with the chairperson, like you are saying, and rather than delegates, because obviously as delegates, you can't be impartial. You ought to be going in there with your candidate in mind. But I'm just saying that it was politically very, very hot going into that thing.
Yeah, but I think we need to understand that the NYC, by its nature, or by its formation, has political parties that are affiliated to it.
Yes.
So how
but it's a national institution. It's not a political institution at all. And you would think conventionally that when somebody gets elected, like Ndemuweda here, or whether it's Poppy or Esther, that they only serve the Namibian youth.
Yeah, but you cannot have a Namibian youth with the exemption or with the exclusion of others, or without. So if political parties, they are part of the formation, then why do you want to exclude them? Yeah, because at the end of the day, there's this whole notion that no, NYC must be apolitical.
Yes.
But it's having political parties that form part of the formation. So how does it become apolitical if part of its formation? I think if I can speak under correction, there are maybe around 8 or to 10 political parties, youth wings, that form part of the 53 affiliates.
Which brings me to my next question, really, that this is the second time that the General Assembly got postponed. It originally should have taken place in 2024, didn't take place, and now this year again, postponed again. Do you think there are structural problems there? That maybe this entity is too politicized, is unnecessarily too politicized? No, we don't want to hear what the PDM Youth League or SWAPO Youth League get to say. It's not their institution. Of course, they're affiliates and they have a voice. I understand that and I respect that. But I just think that even the way people are elected into those positions, why can't we just apply for board memberships and chairperson's position?
Yeah, no.
People get interviewed even publicly, and then
Yes, Toivo, you must understand NYC in its inception.
Yeah.
And NYC is a platform for youth from all different backgrounds.
Yes.
And when I say different backgrounds, I'm talking about race, ethnic background, color, skin, religious, because we're also having church formations that also and they also form part of
affiliates there.
Yes, and we're also talking about background. We're talking about education background, uneducated, educated background. So we should not take a posture that NYC must move in a certain direction at the expense of another direction.
That is not what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that you are saying that.
So even if, because I know what you're saying, you're trying to say that you don't want it to become an elitist
I never
institution.
Said that. I never said that.
When you talk about education and uneducated,
I spoke about ethnic, race, I talk about everything.
But you seem to suggest that
political, religious, educational, everything combined. Yes. Let's say there are 20 of them.
Make your point,
Yeah. Let's say there are 20 different backgrounds.
Yes.
So we must not let NYC take a posture on 3 versus 17 of the backgrounds, or 5 versus 15 of the 20 backgrounds. We have to encompass all of the backgrounds, and that those backgrounds form part of what defines NYC. Because once we lead that posture, whereby let's say, okay, fine, let's apply. Let's make NYC on application basis. What will be the criteria out of the 20?
No, the criteria is that you must be able to demonstrate your
leadership. Which part of the 20? The different 20, religious, educational, leadership.
No. NYC is just like it's actually an SOE. As it stands, it is created
non-commercial SOE.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's a creation of an act of parliament, and it's an institution with opportunities and a mandate, which is fuzzy. By the way, it's not a very clear mandate because nobody knows in this country what NYC does, but.
We know. The youth know what the mandate is. Maybe the general public doesn't know, but the youth know.
It's just
the youth know what his mandate is.
No, it doesn't do anything. I don't know what it does. But anyways, so there ought to be, for me, I'm saying that the requirements will not say that you need to be this and that, like which tribe, which political party, which religious belief. It's just to say, we want a chairperson. Who wants to become a chairperson? I put up my hand. We go toe to toe, a person gets elected. But especially when you young people have proven time and again that you cannot rule yourselves. You are beating each other. You are postponing things endlessly.
We need to create a platform that doesn't exclude the youth from Omatako.
Yes.
Constituency.
In what way would what I'm suggesting?
In what way would it exclude? And also, we have to have an understanding of Namibia's diverse landscape, diverse ethnic group, diverse, and our history also, where we are coming from.
Yes.
We are only getting free education in the 36th year of independence.
Yes.
Where does it put all the people who have been previously disadvantaged to access quality education? So a youth who has been excluded from quality free education, how can we exclude them from the process?
But in what way are you excluding anyone, Mr. Nghixulifwa? In what way are you
You have to
anyone?
create a platform
Yes.
that is open
Yeah.
for every corner, every youth, irrespective of their, like I said earlier, background, educational background, ethnic background, faith background. So once we start to create a platform that is one excluding the other, then we are opening up a can of worms.
But you're not excluding anyone. You put adverts there and you say whoever is interested and believe that they can lead.
Okay, those adverts now, sometimes you'll find there is a youth that's in the north there, in the rural area, they have no access to internet. How will they see it?
No, just the same right now. When you guys went to Swakopmund, those opportunities were there. How did the youth in those remote areas pick
They were
up?
there because that's why I'm saying that the formation of NYC, it's having 14. It's present in all 14 regions of the country and all 121 constituencies in the country.
Yes.
So by virtue of that,
Yeah.
there are chairpersons in each and every constituency, 121 constituencies in the country. There are chairpersons in each and every region in the country. That's in terms of the landscape. Then we're talking about all 53 affiliates from different political, different faith organizations.
Yes.
So with that, you open up a platform for a diverse representation from all corners of the country so that people are not excluded. Because once people are excluded, like I said, you're opening up a can of worms.
I understand. The problem is when you keep hammering on exclusion, I don't know where that exclusion will come from. Design the whole process, redesign the whole process in a manner that is more friendlier but still inclusive. It's not for me now to dictate how that must be done, but do that with that concern in mind so that we make sure that at the end of the day, everybody is included. My fear is that at the next convention, someone is going to get killed. Because it was karma, 2024, 2026 is injuries, 2020 whatever, it will be death.
But Toivo, if a candidate who has gone through a vetting process, they've taken their energy, their time, their resources to participate in an elective process, they've been approved as a rightful candidate, they've been vetted, and they are delegate, rightfully so, they are candidate, and they identify issues where their rights are being violated. So you are saying that now we must allow that?
No.
If we must not allow that, then the youth are going to take up issues in the way that they see, fit. Because, and we as a youth need to come to a stage whereby we can find each other you see, that's why it's always a saying to disagree to agree.
Yes. No,
youth need to find their ways in their imperfections, in their perfections. We need to find ourselves. So the events that unfolded on the weekend, it was unfortunate in terms of the injuries, but the injuries also came as a result, apparently, that there was some tear gas that was also.
Yes.
So now
some people apparently tear gas did not even come from the police. It's from the delegates. People went to war already before the war started.
No, but Toivo, there were individuals at the door searching everyone that entered and exited. How is it possible now that delegates have entered with tear gas?
I don't know. It's for you guys to answer. No, we can go on the whole day. In fact,
but sometimes I
wish the platform was longer.
Yeah.
But I think you've articulated your position vigorously. I'm a taxpayer. I may not be described at the age of that I'm at now, I may not be youth. Of course, I qualify for the National Youth Development Fund still.
Yeah. Up to 45.
But yeah, I'm well under the 45. But it's my taxpayer. We are told 2 million of taxpayers' money was spent there, and therefore it's not just an issue of the youth. We taxpayers also, even if we were in our 60s or 50s, we will still be concerned that so much money went to waste like that. There has to be a way in which young people. I mean, SWAPO has the most fierce battle for its congresses. Not once have we seen people even pushing or shoving each other, but it's a bigger mandate, it's a bigger political institution, but somehow they find a way to.
Also, you are agreeing that SWAPO is bigger than the government, or what? Because you are because NYC is the government.
SWAPO runs the government.
Oh.
NYC is run by SWAPO. SWAPO is bigger.
Also,
SWAPO is a bigger authority.
So you agree?
Okay.
That's on you. That's on you. That's on you.
Yeah, no, I really understand. That is Ndemuweda Nghixulifwa. Really great speaking to him today about the events that unfolded in Swakopmund. Thank you for watching.